What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I am your host, Bry-Fy, your comics guy. And oh my god, this is like an episode that is actually on time and out when it was supposed to be out, like I normally do Monday mornings. And, you know, I will admit, I had a little help. I was off for 4 days, so I didn't really have much to do. So there you go. I just need to find a way to only work 3 days out of the week, and we'll be good going forward with the podcast and having it ready in a timely manner. Or maybe it's just, you know, I was really excited to start my new job tomorrow or today when you're listening to this. So as you're listening to this on your commute to work, just know I'm usually before when I was working security, I was already at work probably by the time you were listening to this. Now I'm probably on the same commute as you, maybe listening to the episode as well, because, you know, I'm like that. I will listen to my own show because I think it's fantastic. No, I just, you know, things are going to be a little different moving forward, at least for the next 6 months or so when I'll be in a training classroom learning how to not destroy everyone. No. So I'm pretty excited to start all that, and just excited because, wow, RJ just whacked the door really hard. What are you doing, son? Oh, you got pins, like ninja swords. Cool. This is my son, everyone. Of course, if you guys have ever listened to the show before, you know RJ loves to make noise in the background. Those of you that are new, understand. If you're parents, you'll understand you can never have a peaceful moment to yourself. And if you are not parents and are thinking about having children, let this be a warning to you. It's a lot of fun, though, here at the Bry-Fy podcast. I think we've all learned to accept RJ for the entertainment and distractions that, you know, he gives me on the show. It helps me from getting too serious about the show. It helps keep me grounded. Helps keep me from, you know, getting any better. No. Love you, RJ. Hey, RJ. Hey. I love you. No? You're just gonna sit over there and play? Okay. Anyway, if you guys came looking for tons of noise by toddlers, you're definitely in the right place. Also, if you happen to enjoy... I'm fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. If you happen to enjoy reviews on comic books, you're definitely in the right place for that. And if you want snarky comments about nifty, nerdy news, you might have found a pretty interesting place as well, because I do all three. And I do it with a smile, even though my son makes me want to choke him. No, we got a lot of fun for you guys this week. A lot of cool, nifty nerd news that we'll get into here in a second. But before we do, I just want to say thank you guys for listening and putting up with everything. And if you'd like to, please head over to all my social media, Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Everything is at Bry-Fy Podcast. That's Bryfy Podcast. And I'm going to go knock out my son, and then we'll get on with the nifty nerd news. Okay, guys, up first in the nifty nerd news that we're going to talk about for this week, we're going to do a COMICPALOOZA update. Of course, COMICPALOOZA is coming to you May 22nd through the 24th. This year, it's going to be at the George R. Brown Convention Center, like it is every year. I don't know why I said this year. That was really awkward to me, and I'm sorry. But here recently, they've announced some more guests. I mean, we've had tons of guests, anime voice actors, Star Trek actors, and now some of my favorite, the comic book creators that they've put on the guest list. One of them being Steve Orlando, who's a writer. He's done a lot of DC stuff like Midnighter, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Justice League of America was pretty cool. They've also announced Marguerite Bennett. She's done like DC Bombshells, Batwoman, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, A-Force, and Red Sonja. We also have another writer, Christopher Priest, which I'm kind of kind of stoked about. He co-created Static Shock, which is pretty badass. Also co-created Quantum and Woody, Black, and then also wrote on. And then what do you think he co-created? Black Panther, Batman, and Captain America, and the Falcon. After those writers, we have some artists like Ben Harney, who has done work for IDW, Image Comics, and Valiant Comics. John Jiang, who is a concept artist who's done work for like movies like Avengers: Age of Ultron, Pacific Rim. He's worked on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Star Trek movies. So pretty cool stuff coming out of all that. Then we got artist Ryan Stegman, who's done a lot of stuff for Marvel, like Wolverine, Fantastic Four, Venom, and my personal favorite, the Superior Spider-Man. So I'm hoping to get him to sign one or a few of my issues that he's done covers on and interior works on. So I'm pretty stoked for that. So hopefully I can get him to sign some stuff for me. We'll see what all. But, I'm super stoked. Like, this has me so excited. ComicPalooza always comes through with some really awesome comic book guests. And I can't wait, man. This has me so freaking pumped for ComicPalooza. But I'm always pumped for ComicPalooza. Not only because they invite me to the show every year and let me talk live on the con floor and all that stuff, but because it's just a good time, guys. I can't stress that enough, how much fun ComicPalooza is. Well, you missed that yesterday. Sunday was the last day that you could get tickets for for their discounted price. Prices have gone up now. Still worth it for the weekend pass, so definitely hurry up and buy it. Get a hotel room, because I recommend staying in downtown Houston, so that way you're near all the fun. And come hang out, see me, because I'll be at the convention. I'll be in the hotel lobby getting drinks. Trying to keep my cool, guys. Yeah, sorry. Are you saying sorry? This is like the most he's ever. Just it gets more and more every show. I need a drink. Where's my water? We're good. Calm. Anyway, that's it. Come out to ComicPalooza. It's going to be a lot of fun. Second bit of nifty nerd news. Want to just take this time to remember Kazuhisa Hashimoto, who a lot of you might not know based on the name, but you may know from this famous video game code, up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start, which made famous 1986, was first introduced in the game Gradius, which was on NES. This guy, Hashimoto, was the guy who created the Konami code, which is really awesome. I mean, it's super popular. It's, like I said, it's been around since 1986, made really famous in, like, the Contra series. It's been in, like, Mortal Kombat. It's been in games not even associated with Konami. I think, hell, even, like, League of Legends, Fortnite, all those places. Like, it's such a popular code and, like, had such popularity that it's, like, transcend video games into, like, pop culture, to all kinds of different stuff. Sadly, he passed away February 25th, which was last week. Just wanted to give a shout-out because, I mean, we all know the code, man. As soon as someone's like up, up, down, down, you already know left, right, BA start. Like, it's that popular. It's that awesome. It sucks that he's gone, but I mean, he left us such a huge win of a piece of video game history. It's pretty badass, pretty awesome. And that's just cool information to know. If you're ever in like video game trivia night or something, there you go. Up next, Bob Iger is to step down as Disney's CEO, effective immediately. It's actually not as bad as it sounds. A lot of news articles are making it like seem like, oh my God, what the hell did Bob Iger do? Like, Igor, I don't know. But like, what the hell did he do? Well, calm down. First off, he's stepping down to become executive chairman through 2021. Chairman? It just sounds weird, like a really lame superhero. But the new CEO, Bob Chapek, who was actually chairman of Parks, Experiences, and Products, he's going to be stepping up into the role moving forward. And like I said, nothing bad happened. It actually, Bob Iger has been trying to retire. He's been CEO since 2005, which means he was coming up on 15 years as CEO of Disney. He's been through a ton of huge acquisitions from the company, like Pixar, Marvel, and then, of course, here recently with Fox and the Disney Plus launch. So, he's kind of like, look, I've helmed the ship through all these big changes. Things are calming down now. We're finally getting to just take a look at ourselves and just grow ourselves and be within ourselves. Wow. I don't know if you heard my son on that one. That was intense. But so, I mean, the dude's older, and so it's time for him to step down. He's going to relax and get ready for retirement and just have a lot of fun, especially after probably big stressors like the Fox merger and Disney Plus launch. He deserves it. So I applaud him, and I shame all the media who's trying to make it sound like, oh, Bob Iger's stepping down, effective immediately. Oh, no, what the hell? Dude's retiring. Just put Bob Iger setting up retirement plan. And, that's really what's happening here. In the next bit of news, GameStop is pulling out of the comic books game, which a lot of us collectively were like, oh, GameStop's still a thing? I can't even tell you the last time. I think I attempted to step into a GameStop like 2 weekends ago just to see what was in there. But then I just, I smelled just food. And I was like, let me go over that way instead. No. Just, I don't know, man. I've kind of not outgrown, but I've outgrown GameStop. I just don't find the need to go in it anymore. And with how a lot of Xbox, PlayStation, and all that, now they have Game Pass and free games that you can play with their premium memberships. I have more than enough games that I'm enjoying to play. I think the only system that I wish I could get more games or better games with is my Switch. A lot of their first party games, like their Mario games, like Mario Kart and stuff, they still sell at full price. In fact, I mean, even in stores, even I'm sure at GameStop, they're still just $10 below full retail price, which is the one thing I've always hated about Nintendo, is just how well their games stay at their market value, which fucking sucks. But I mean, that's good for them and the company. I mean, they're hugely popular games. I just wish they were cheaper for me. I need a 50% off discount on. Look, Mario Kart's been out for 3 years now. Give me for free. I pay your damn Nintendo online service. Give me it. No. But yeah, so in 2018, GameStop decided to try selling comic books in their GameStops and their Think Geek stores. Of course, there was that big merger, which was supposed to be really great for the company. As far as I can tell, things are getting a little not great with GameStop. Not that the company, I think it's going bankrupt, and it's probably not going to be a thing anymore. They've tried all kinds of crazy gimmicks and selling different weird stuff. Comic books was just the new hit item on the list, because with the resurgence of comic books with the superhero movies and stuff, I think GameStop, Think Geek thought, we can ride this wave. This will bring us into... Nope. That was a failure. And, from my personal experience, we have a few GameStops where in the area that I live, and we have a few Think Geek stores. For GameStop, I have not noticed comic books at all. I've never seen one in our area that carried comic books. I mean, they carry a lot of cool collectibles and some comic book collectibles, or superhero collectibles. But where I did see comic books was at the Think Geek store, and they had 2 magazine racks with comics, and it wasn't a lot. It just, I don't know, man. It they didn't put a huge push on it. They had your major DC and Marvel titles, but that was it. I mean, maybe a Walking Dead, or the major Image books that are doing very, very well, or by Robert Kirkman. Let me just say that. But other than that, I didn't see shit. and maybe that's why the comic books was kind of a failure with them. I don't know. Anyways, the last bit of nifty nerd news that I have for you guys this week, Mark Ruffalo may be joining Disney Plus's She-Hulk series. Now, nothing's been confirmed, but during C2E2 this past weekend, which is in Chicago, Mark Ruffalo said during a panel, I think, that he has had talks about joining the show. Now, like I said, nothing's been confirmed if he actually will join it or if he won't, but I believe, what was it, earlier this year or late last year, he had mentioned that, no, there was nothing going on, like he had nothing to do with the show, but now, hearing that he's had talks to join the show, kind of makes me pretty stoked. Like the chance that he might show up. Of course, with the Disney Plus stuff, we're all pretty excited because we know that a lot of what's happening there can jump over to the movies and vice versa. And so getting to see actors, like the big screen actors, now do like these series is I'm pretty stoked on it, you know, with the Loki one coming out, Falcon Winter Soldier, and WandaVision. I can't wait to see what the hell happens and how these all play out and how it affects the movie universe and moving forward. And so there's just a lot of cool stuff that's happening, a lot of cool things that are being said. And now with the rumor that Mark Ruffalo might be joining them, it's pretty exciting, pretty badass. So I can't wait to see what happens. But hey, that's it for the Nifty Nerd News this week, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of it. If you like what you hear, especially my son banging on his freaking toys for like 15 minutes, tune in next week. But, oh, wait, I'm not even done. What the hell? I still got a comic book to review. So sit back, relax. We're going to talk about... what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Deadpool. Oh, my God, I forgot. I did a Twitter poll because I didn't want to do Thor again after doing Thor last weekend. So I was trying to give myself a little break, and so I put out there for you guys to pick a comic book. And the three that I put out there was Han Solo, Cage, and Deadpool. And I had checked it after about an hour, and Cage was in the lead, which I was pretty stoked on. I'm a big fan of Luke Cage, and I've always been wanting to read this series. So it was a 4-issue series, so I started reading that. And by the time I got finished and was already starting on my notes, I happened to look back on Twitter. It had now been like 5-10 hours. And it turned out I had a lot more people vote on it than I normally do. And Deadpool was in the lead. So you guys wanted to hear Deadpool this week. So I had to scramble around to read Deadpool real quick. Which is another series I've been wanting to catch up on now with a new writer, Skotty Young. So I was pretty stoked for that too. You know, like I wasn't like, shit. I was just a little like, well, that's what I get for pulling the trigger a little too early. So let's take a short break, and then we'll get to talking on Deadpool from 2018.
What's up, nerds? This is Rich, the host of the Three Fat Nerds podcast. I would like to invite you to check out our podcast, available anywhere you get podcasts just by searching Three Fat Nerds. We are 2 shows on one channel. Late every Monday night, we release the flagship Three Fat Nerds podcast, where we discuss all things pop culture and nerdom. We talk about movies, shows, games, comics, and more. Then late every Thursday night, we release 3FNW, our pro wrestling podcast, where we give our thoughts and takes on the wrestling business. So listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts, like us on Facebook, 3 Fat Nerds Podcast, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, at 3 Fat Nerds Pod, and most importantly, enjoy our musings. With that being said, there's only one thing left to say. Later, nerds!
All right, guys, welcome back to the comic book review portion of the Bry-Fy podcast. Today we're looking at 2018's Deadpool, written by Skotty Young, art by Nick Klein and Scott Hepburn. I don't think it's any surprise that I was a huge fan of the Jerry Duggan and Brian Posehn run on Deadpool, and it's kind of funny because I think a lot of people didn't like it for silly reasons, and I think everyone has their own version of Deadpool that they really enjoy. That was my first time reading a Deadpool run, and I really, really, really loved it. They did a lot of cool stuff with it, and I will admit, though, it starts off real silly. You know, the first story arc is Deadpool kills, like, the dead presidents, so he's fighting, like, zombified versions of the presidents who have gone, like, muy loco, And it's silly, it's stupid, but it was a lot of fun. And, it's set up for some good stuff where later in the run, it got really exciting. I feel like it's kind of the same thing here with the start of Skotty Young's run. Things are kind of funny, kind of silly, not really too serious. And, I mean, that's just kind of how a lot of people introduce a lot of characters. You get this one story that's kind of fun and silly. Well, at least with Deadpool, because I remember reading the first story arc of Thor. It's really dark and depressing. But with Deadpool, it's usually a lot of fun. We get to see new and interesting ways how they bring the character to his new norm or his new starting point. And with Skotty Young, it turns out Deadpool decides to just mind wipe himself completely. I don't know if this happened just for this run or if it happened before that. I don't remember how this all happens. I didn't really follow up on at the end of the last run. And so, I'm missing some things here. But whatever, Deadpool mind wiped himself. So yay, it's time for a new writer, basically. So that's how you fix Deadpool. You either just make it where whatever, something crazy, I blew my brains out, now I can't remember anything, new origin story. Or I mind wipe myself, new origin story. And that's kind of how it always has been and always will be. So with this, screw all the character building that, Posehn and Duggan put into Deadpool, starting from new. And you know what else is really cool? Those Deadpool movies. So we're going to throw in some characters from that, namely Negasonic, been a teenager for 19 years, Warhead. And then, yeah, let's get on with that. There's some cool little fun, storytelling with, different comic book origin stories, making fun of them and stuff like that, which is kind of fun. And then the kind of main story through this first issue is Deadpool's got a merc, and he's got to merc a biker gang boss who is kind of super-ish. I don't know. He's definitely more than human. And the hit is actually set up by another biker buddy. And basically things go just horribly wrong for everyone. No one is happy by the end of this. I'm pretty sure everyone dies, including Deadpool. But, Deadpool doesn't really die. He just regenerates and everything's fine. Like I said, it's a twofer. And part of that second story, which I mentioned, they kind of make fun of comic book origins and Deadpool's funny comic book origins. And also we get to set up a galactic level threat that's going to, set up the comic run, or at least this first little run of story with Deadpool, and get other characters into the book. He basically says this in the story, I need a cool crossover event that's going to bring in all the heroes into my book, or me and everyone else's book. And they're like, all right, galactic level threat engaged. So of course, going into the next issue, Avengers need help to defeat this galactic level threat, or a celestial named Grofin, who is the harbinger of death barf and just weird shaped eyeballs. As it turns out, there's only one weapon that can kill Grofin, and Deadpool has it in his possession. And it's just weird how he would have it, and it's just some strange story that he probably mind wiped on how he got this weird weapon capable of stopping a celestial, but whatever. The Avengers plead their case to Wade, and Wade agrees to murder them, or not murder them. Well, he attempts to murder the Avengers, actually, because he's just fucking crazy, because that's Deadpool, right? And then he's like, you know what? I'll take this hit by the Avengers. They're like, no, we're not paying you. We're just asking for your help. We don't want to put a hit out on a celestial. And he's like, yeah, you don't want to put a hint, wink, wink, on a celestial. I get it. We'll do it under the table. It's fine. I got you covered. Just leave the money in the bag by that crazy stuff. Because, Deadpool, he's wacky. He's funny. He does things for money. Yay. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. So, of course, Deadpool agrees to do it for money, which he's not really going to get because the Avengers are not going to put a hit out on anyone. That's not how the Avengers work. Whatever. Deadpool doesn't care. Things go sideways for Wade pretty much just immediately. Hey, RJ, you just Kool-Aid Man into there. Open. Oh, you want a pen? Open. There you go. Open the pen box. Yeah, pen box. What color you want? Pink and brown. Pretty pink. Ready? Set. go. Okay, he's going to jump on the bed for a while and have fun. While we talk about comic books. You silly boy. You silly. Woo! He's fine. He's fine.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Say thank you, Mommy.
Good job.
Good job. It sounds like you're saying bitch on. Anyway, where was I? Deadpool. Oh, things go really bad. And I just, like, things are just terrible. I mean, Deadpool killing a Celestial. Yeah, sure, whatever. That's going to work. But through... Is it that funny, RJ? Through luck, chance, gore, piss poor writing, I don't know, Deadpool figures out how to beat the Celestial, and guess what? Does. Works. And because of that, because it was on a huge TV, like everyone was watching this, I mean, Celestial in New York, Deadpool kills him, kind of a big deal. It looks like the Merkin business is booming, like literally and like financially. So it turns out that we, like, through, like, background stuff, we find out Deadpool actually paid to stage this whole thing, and, like, with, like, a Space King, and it is, I don't know, bizarre, and, because, I don't know. Like, it blew me, but, like, it's something that can only happen in a Deadpool book, right? Like, oh, well, it turns out Deadpool went into space because he has those means. Yeah, RJ, that was such a forced laugh, I feel like. Like, he's like, oh yeah, Deadpool's so funny. Ha! Ha!
Good fool.
Ha.
Good
What?
fool.
Get fooled? I don't know what my son's trying to tell me. He's riding around on a scooter, though. My son is being the best Merc with a mouth right now. Anyway, so, yeah, it's just crazy, screwy, but I don't know, like, the old kill an annoying Celestial to make yourself popular and rich plan just works out for Deadpool. Anyway, so, and that's pretty much it. Like, that is the first story arc, which was just 3 issues. So I decided to read one more issue, just to see my feelings on the new iteration of Deadpool. And issue number 4, you don't need to read. There's nothing there for you. But I read it anyway. It's not that it's not a good story. It's just it doesn't do anything. It's just this side story of Wade going to the Bermuda Triangle to finish up a Merc job for lulz and guts, I guess, man, and a butt ton of money. So time is really screwy here in the Bermuda Triangle and Weird World, I think is what they call it. And basically Wade is trapped in this place for a lifetime, where he falls in love and fights a crazy civil war and screws everything up like he normally does, and eventually finishes the mission, and so that all works out, I guess. I don't know. Basically nothing to see here. What's up, RJ?
Hickory.
Hickory?
Hickory.
Fish. Fish? You want to feed fish? What do you want to do? You're just putting pins in my face and shaking them. Autism, people. No, my son is a stimming, and now he's playing with the microphone. Yeah, you want to sing into the microphone? All right, guys, but I think that's going to be it for this episode. As far as a rating goes for Deadpool, I got no charge on it. No neutral, no charge, because I don't know. I just really wasn't into it, and I don't know if it was because I was really excited to read Cage, and so I was not upset, but like kind of just turned off to like, well, I got to read this other story when I was really hyped up on reading Cage, or if I don't know, man, like it just felt like a tired version of Deadpool. Like I think a lot of like Brian Posehn and Jerry Duggan's run on Deadpool, when it gets really serious and deals with some really deep stuff with Deadpool, I think a lot of that's still kind of fresh on my mind because it is one of my favorite Deadpool stories. So to kind of go back to basics with Wade Wilson, where he's just like this crazy merc with no really moral dilemma or anything like that, it just kind of feels tired and uninspired. So I might continue reading this just to see if my feelings on it change. But as for now, for the 2018 version of Deadpool written by Skotty Young, I'm not into it. Artwork's great though. I love the artwork on it. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of fun moments, and I think a lot of people who love that part of Deadpool are really going to enjoy Skotty Young's version of Wade. And I think a lot of people do. You know, I've read nothing but good reviews and people really liking it. But I fell in love with the more serious and troubled Deadpool. The one who was trying to be a hero but was failing, versus this, I'm just a merc with lols and memes. So, well, I don't know. We'll see going forward. Like I said, this is just the first 4 issues, and only 3 of them were a cohesive story. The 4th one just seemed tacked on just to add for a trade paperback. I don't know. So we'll see. But if you want to check it out. If not, I don't think you're missing anything. In fact, I think now, currently, we're in 2020. So 2 years later, there's a new writer on Deadpool. I think it's Kelly Thompson. I can't remember, though. But I think it's Kelly Thompson. And she does some pretty cool shit. So, yeah. That's it for the comic book review portion, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you love the interruptions by my son. Because I know I sure as hell did. No. But... yeah, that's it for the Bry-Fy podcast this week, guys. And don't forget to spay and neuter yourselves. Bry-Fy out.